You have done the work. You have faced the shadows. You have felt what was once unfelt. You have named what was once hidden. You have sat in the discomfort long enough for truth to surface. For a long time, your life may have revolved around healing, processing, releasing, understanding, improving. There was always something to clear, something to transform, something to transcend. And now, something is different. There is a strange pause. The familiar momentum of working on yourself no longer moves in the same way. The urgency has softened, the constant inner scanning has quietened, and in that quiet, a question rises. What comes next when the work is done? Now, you are not lost, you are not regressing, you are not avoiding growth. You are standing at a threshold where healing gives way to embodiment. And this threshold feels unfamiliar because it does not demand effort. It invites presence. Notice what has subtly changed. The old rituals may feel less charged, the long processing sessions less necessary, the need to constantly re-evaluate your patterns less compelling. At first, this can feel unsettling. The mind might whisper, "Am I missing something? Is there more I should be doing? Have I stopped growing?" But listen more deeply. The field itself has shifted. Your nervous system feels quieter, not numb, regulated. Your heart feels both heavier and lighter at once. Heavier with groundedness, lighter with relief. Your mind begins to release its habitual scaffolding, the constant analyzing, correcting, restructuring. What you are experiencing is not stagnation, it is integration. This is embodiment. Embodiment is not dramatic, it does not announce itself with fireworks, it does not require a new method. It is the moment when the shift you worked so hard for begins to live as you. When healing stops becoming something you do and becomes something you are. There is often a hidden identity wrapped around healing. The seeker, the transformer, the one doing deep work. And when that role begins to dissolve, it can feel like losing part of yourself. If I am not healing, who am I? If I am not improving, what defines me? This is the final refinement of the threshold. Because embodiment asks you to release even the identity of the one who heals. Not because healing was wrong, of course not, but because it has completed its phase. You are no longer in survival repair mode. You are in coherent living. There is less urgency now, less internal emergency. And the ego may try to recreate a problem or two, just to restore the familiar sense of effort. But you do not need a new wound to justify your depth. You do not need a new struggle to validate your growth. Stillness is not emptiness. It is stabilised expansion. So let yourself be here, without trying, without adjusting, without scanning for what still needs to change. You do not need to imagine a better version of yourself. You do not need to visualize the shift. You do not need to reprogram anything. Simply sit inside your own being. As Metatron's stabilizing presence accompanies you now, notice the quality of coherence that arises. There is a geometry about embodiment, a sacred alignment that no longer requires force. Feel how subtle order replaces effort. Feel how the body settles without instruction. Feel how the breath finds its own rhythm. Notice how awareness becomes steady, not intense, not searching, simply aware. Oh, the mind may still speak. The world may still appear unchanged, but underneath there is a new baseline, a quiet miracle. What once required constant intervention now flows of its own accord. You are not holding yourself together anymore. You are integrated. This is what it feels like when healing gives way to being. Embodiment is not passive, it is deeply active, but without strain. You make decisions from grounded clarity rather than wounded reaction. You respond rather than defend. You create without trying to prove. You rest without guilt. You move through the world not as someone becoming whole, but as someone who already is. This does not mean challenges disappear. It means you meet them differently, without collapsing, without over-identifying, without turning every discomfort into a drama. There is space now, and in that space, life begins to feel simpler. Not because it is smaller, but because you are no longer fragmented inside it. Let this settle into you. Healing is complete. Embodiment is emerging. And you are exactly where you need to be, even if the outer world has not yet caught up. Nothing is missing, nothing is late, nothing is broken. This pause is not emptiness. It is arrival. As this transmission gently completes, notice your body, the room, the steadiness within your breath. And when you leave this space, carry this permission. You are allowed to be, even without doing, even without measuring your growth, even without monitoring your progress, even without fixing yourself. This is the new threshold of presence. And from here, life is no longer something you heal, it is something you inhabit. And in the stillness of embodiment, a deeper question begins to form. If you are no longer becoming, who are you now when nothing needs to change? Keep an eye out for the next in this Threshold Transmission series, standing in the space between effort and trust, with the focus on surrender and alignment. I hope to see you there. Love and blessings, Joanne. If this light transmission touched your soul, please like, comment, and subscribe to support this sacred channel. Sharing helps more people discover this gentle power of healing and transformation. Tap the bell to receive updates on all new meditations, insights, and affirmations infused with angelic light and higher consciousness. Thank you for walking this path with me. You are the light, clearer and more at peace than ever before.